Hi. I'm a big fan of your movie, and I'm a big fan of Mark Dacascos. And I wanted to ask how he became part of the movie, and was his character always this kind of weird John Wick fanboy?
I knew Mark Dacascos way back in early 90s when I was just a stunt performer. We had met on a movie called Drive, which is something he had done a long time ago. When Keanu and I were talking about the creation of the character Zero, we actually had in mind Hiroyuki Sanada, who Keanu had worked with on 47 Ronin, and I'm a big fan. And we originally had the part for Hiroyuki, and he's a very, very serious master ninja. Hiroyuki was had a problem with he had injured himself just training off on his own, and he had a surgery, and he wasn't going to heal in time. And we were hoping for the best, but it just wasn't going to happen. So regrettably, Hiroyuki had to take more time off to recover. And Mark, who had asked to be in the movie, who was just going to be part of our stunt team, I went to him and asked, how would you like to be more? And he literally got on the plane that day and flew out and saw us in New York. And he originally tried to kind of go what we had written, which was a very serious Japanese sensei. And anybody that knows Mark is like Zero. He's very happy and energetic. So he started doing takes like that, and we just looked at each other and went, yeah, that's be a fanboy. And it kind of came out through who Mark really is. And it made us laugh behind the monitor, so we just kept doing it that way.
Any further question in the middle? Right there.
Hi, Nadine Faslaven for Promi Flash. I've got a question to both of you. John Wick is a very tough action movie, but was there a funny moment during the shooting at all, or what was the funniest moment? Maybe a scene that always went wrong or something like that.
Have you ever worked with dogs and horses? Yeah, like every day is a new joke, I think. Specifics. Horses don't always do what you want them to do. So there was a lot of cleanup with the stunt team, yeah.
Funny moments that aren't in the film. Life funny moments. No. No. I mean, we're having a lot of fun making it, but I can't recall, like, you know, something that you all would consider funny.
But what happened more often, that you had to cry a shot cut because somebody didn't get his line or because somebody didn't get his move?
No, slipped in horseshit. There's always that.
There you go.
Dogs like to chase cats. We had a lot of cat problems.
Morocco.
Yeah.
Right. Plenty.
Oh, right. Then the dog went and chased the horse?
Dog went and chased the horse. We had
yeah.
And it wasn't one of our horses. It was one of the New York City Police's horses, so that didn't work out well.
That's not really funny. Ha ha.
It was it's much funnier now.
It's funny now.
It wasn't funny then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, there's the dark side of journalism. Front row again.
Keanu, I want to ask you, do you have a special program when you're preparing for the role? I mean, a special diet or a special training program?
The training is really the training. And do a little training before the training. And what I mean by that is, you know, just kind of getting ready to do judo and some of the jujitsu, the weapons manipulations and stuff. Diet, yeah, just try and eat right. If you're filming an action sequence for 10 hours a day, you have to have a certain amount of calories, being consistent, you know, consistently through the day for energy. But nothing, it's not very high modern science in the sense of like, okay, what's your heart rate? You know, what's your glucose? You know, I mean, it's not like that. It's just, yeah. Huh? No. It's a lot of fun to make a John Wick film.
Again in the middle. Oh, he's coming over. I'm with you in a minute.
So I'm not only a big movie fan, but I also like to follow the NBA. So I was personally excited to see Boban Marjanovic in this movie. So can you tell us something about how was it like to design an action sequence for such a big guy? He's like 7'4", and what was it like to go against him?
He's a cool cat.
He's super cool. I was looking to do, I love the New York City Public Library, and Keanu had come up with the idea that he's got his safe book or safe bag there where he needs to get out of town. And when we scouted the New York Public Library, it was very small. And we thought the best way to do it was have the biggest stunt person we could find fight him. And that would be a great way to open the movie. And we thought back to Jaws and Bond and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Game of Death with Bruce Lee, and we wanted something like that. We couldn't find anybody in the stunt world above 6'6", 6'7", and our producer, Bal Zionic, was a huge basketball fan, and he had seen Boban when he was on the Clippers, and I had seen all his little commercials, and I thought he was very entertaining and had a great look. So we asked him to fly to New York, and we put him with the stunt team for about 2-3 weeks, and then introduced him to Keanu. Keanu's fought a sumo wrestler in the last movie. This one, we've got Boban, and we've got Chep and Yeon, which are both 5'2" from the Raid. And I just think it's fun to choreograph. We have different physical attributes with the different assassins.
Yeah, and Boban really committed to the training. I mean, he was really interested in it. He's an athlete, so, you know, he's definitely, you know, physical and knows his body. And, yeah, he was great. And, you know, great reactions, great timing. And he had a lot of fun and a really good kind of spirit of going in, like, let's do it. I think after 4 hours or 5 hours of fighting, I think he was just like, wow, okay.
This is the real deal.
This is interesting.
It's not like a basketball game.
It's like, okay, we're still fighting. And he was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, he didn't get a stunt double.
Yeah.
So that was all him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
But you still believe that reading is good, although that for him it was quite deadly.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Yeah. In that case, for John Wick, again, like second row.
John Wick loves sports cars. It was shown in the first movies. In the third, I didn't see a lot. What kind of cars do you like? Or do you prefer riding bicycle or going by metro?
Yeah, we didn't have any classic muscle cars in this. What happened, Chad?
Budget. Budget. Horses, dogs, motorcycles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you get like a discount from him from Arc Bikes or anything like that? Or?
No, we didn't have any arches.
No, it wasn't right.
No, it didn't fit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of motorcycles. But,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I love riding motorcycles. Cars
we appreciate muscle cars. We're big fans of the old Steve McQueen. I mean, that's where we got the original idea for John Wick from Bullet. And we thought that was really cool to be John Wick vested into the 70s vibe. We really like that.
Another one, third row, RBB. Former SFB.
Yes, Sender Freies Berlin. So would you share the number of bodies with us, Mr. Stahelski?
Oh,
I think we had that question before.
That would be no fun.
Oh, come on,
You gotta go back and count. It's more than number 2, but not as many as number 4.
And most of them shot or stabbed or strangled?
John Wick is pretty equal opportunity. I would say most are shot.
All right, another one there. Oh, front row.
So will you continue with John Wick, or is this Capital 3, is this the end?
You know, it's really up to the audience. You know, after the first one, you know, it had kind of the appreciation for the film grew, which gave us the opportunity for Chapter 2. Gratefully, people liked what we did, and hopefully people will like what we did in Chapter 3. If that's the case, then we might have the opportunity. Personally, I love the role. I love the world of John Wick, and I'm interested to see what happens.
Oh, you go first for the last one over there. Although this would have been much faster, but for suspense reasons,
I think it's a follow-up question to that one. I read about the Continental, the series. What can you tell us about the future plans for this one?
I can't really tell you much. The movie studio Lionsgate is interested in continuing stories off of the John Wick story in the film. So they wanted to create perhaps some stories revolving around the Continental world, which sounds like fun. But I don't know anything more than that.
Back to the front.
I would like to know, how did you film those scenes on the motorcycle? Were you really driving and fighting at the same time?
Yeah, no. That was... we wanted to take John Wick action and put it in different places, and one of those was the motorcycle. So that one was a mix of real motorcycles and riding, and then technically some stage work.
So how many bikes had to suffer? Because I understand maybe one scene might work out.
No, I think we crashed 6 motorcycls all in all. We had 6 go down. That was all good. But it was meant to be a sleight of hand. So there's all real people, all real crashes. We did quite a bit on the Verrazano Bridge in New York, which is the longest suspension bridge in the United States. Keanu doing some riding on the streets, and then our stunt team and our choreography team doing some stage work on motion-based motorcycles with the actual swords.
So
I dare you to figure it out.
So seriously, just like with one, like these swords that you use, actually you could actually make this bike collapse for that matter. Not that I would try that, but
in John Wick, yes.
Okay, good to know. I'm not going to try. I'm just going to take your word on that one.
Fantasyland.
Again, on the
another question. Yes, there is this German tattoo on the adjudicator's neck. Whose idea was this German word, and why is it this word?
That is an actual tattoo on Asia Kate Dillon. That's Asia's actual tattoo. Yes. We thought it looked really cool, and it had an interesting meaning.
Right next to you?
Yes, I have another question for Keanu Reeves. How do you come out of your role in the evening, after shooting the whole time, after fighting and getting wet?
When I take the costume off and I get out of the role, I start thinking about the next day's work and reflect upon this day's work, and I get out of the role and into a tub of really cold water.
Ice bath.
Yeah.
And then maybe some hot water, and then sometimes I just jump into a cold shower afterwards. Then eat a lot of food, keep thinking about next day's work, reflecting on the day's work, and try and get 8 hours of sleep.
I mean, as you already talked about the body count that apparently is going to be higher on 4th, without really admitting that there's going to be a 4th in the making. But how many ideas would you have already, and how many of the people of the new cast would also be part of it? I mean, Ian McShane, Lance Reddick have to be in there. It's like your family pretty much. But apparently it's really like nobody likes the high table. So I would assume many of ideas would go that way.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, we really are creating this as we evolve. There's a lot of ideas. I have some thoughts. Chad has some visions, but we won't really know until we start.
Yeah. We kind of sit down and start thinking of great ideas, both from the stunt world, from the character world, from the story world, and we just slowly piece it all together to keep it interesting.
All right. Any further question there? Like, in the second row again. Then we go back to the first one.
It was the 3rd time for you playing John Wick. Was it for you like coming home and you know what to do and everything is fine, or was it really a new challenge for you?
It was really nice. It felt very much more on the coming home side. I literally wore the same suit from Chapter 2, so it was a really... And I keep the ring in the watch, so I have that with me in my home. So that's always around. So when I put the ring on, the watch on, put the suit on, yeah, it starts to awaken everything. You know, you do the internal work, and then when you put that on, you're ready.
Yeah, the last fighting scene made me want to have a Swiss watch too, with that glass. I don't know why, I just had the impression I need Swiss-made watches.
Yeah,
for some reason. Back to the front row.
Keanu, in a former interview, you told me that you hated to shave yourself, the beard. So are you happy that you, in the movie, could look like your own
Yeah,
style?
I would imagine that comment came off of if you're playing a role clean-shaven, you really have to do that all the time. And so it's kind of nice not to have to do that. So for John Wick, yeah, you don't have to shave, but you have to scissor it. You know, there's still some grooming involved.
This will be now the last question. Back in the front row.
This is less than a question and more something really personal, because my son is called Neo and my husband is called Constantine, and you're his man crush. Do you think you have a minute in the lobby after all your interviews to take a photo, because my husband
problem.
really loves you, and
Yeah, no problem.
it's so nice.
Yeah, sure.
So I could also, and I'm just kidding.
Sure.
Well, but then thank you. We will have to see about that. As I told you, like for the personal, it's me who's going to be in charge, but we take care of that, because some of you also like waiting for the interviews later on. But you're the man, whenever you decide.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
So you're gonna
say
dance
hi
with
to
us.
Neo and Constantine.
Okay, great for that.
All right.
So thank you so much. Let's not forget, this movie will start in Germany on the 23rd of May. You will enjoy it if you like action. These guys are delivering really one-of-a-kind movies. And thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to
Thank you,
Chad
guys.
Salsky
Thank you
and
very
Keanu
much.
Reeves. Dankeschön. Thank you, guys.
So you're bringing them to come here?
Okay, then sure, work it out. I'll see.